Hello and welcome to We the People. I'm Gargi Rawat. On Tuesday, we saw multi-city raids carried out by the Pune police and the arrest of 5 human rights activists and lawyers. The police have accused them of being part of a larger Maoist plot that's working against the government. That was also behind the violence that broke out at Bhima Koregaon in January when there were clashes between a scheduled caste gathering and a right-wing group. Now, for the moment, the Supreme Court has ordered that all the activists be kept under house arrest and have asked the Maharashtra government for a reply about the arrest. That's going to come up on the 6th of September. But these latest arrests follow 5 arrests that had taken place earlier in June, where once again it was human rights activists and professors who were raided and arrested. Now, this was also connected to the Bhima Koregaon violence and the Maoist conspiracy. And in that case, the police were supposed to present their charge sheet this coming week, but instead they've gotten a 90-day extension, so that they need that much more time to actually present this evidence in this Maoist conspiracy in a case that now also includes a purported plan against the Prime Minister. So there are a lot of details and it may sound very complicated, but it's very important that we the people make that effort to understand this case and go beyond the catchy headlines that you may have seen on various media channels. Some have called it a Maoist versus nation issue. Others have called it another emergency and the crushing of dissent. So to talk about all these issues, today we have on the show today with us Desh Ratan Nigam, author and RSS member, joining us in studio. Muhammad Khan, Congress spokesperson. Mihir Sharma, author and columnist. Also Shantanu Gupta, political analyst. Dr. Jayati Ghosh, economist and professor with the JNU. And Sanjay Hegde, Supreme Court advocate. Also joining us later from Mumbai will be Sanjeev Punalekar, advocate and member of the Sanatan Sanstha. But at the start of this show, I would like to go across to Sagar Gonzalez. He's the son of Vernon Gonzalez, one of the activists who was arrested. And just to bring across, all right, well, we don't seem to have Sagar just yet. Well, I'd like to go across to Desh Ratan Nigam then, sir. These sort of, as we said, on one hand, it's being called the crushing of dissent. It's being called another emergency, and how it's activists and those who are speaking out for human rights of tribals and the poor who are being targeted in these searches and arrests that we've seen. And there's also double standards when it comes to, if we talk about the Bhima Koregaon violence, that there have been there's no such action that we're seeing on the other side against the saffron groups that were involved in the violence.
Let us be very clear. Urban Naxalism is not a word coined by anybody else. But if you look at their strategic document of CPI Maoist, which is a banned organization, they themselves have coined this word urban Naxalism. And based on that, to concentrate on urban areas and rural areas, there's a complete strategy using very brutal and violent means to overthrow the government and to wipe out the armed forces, which is very clearly given there. Some of these people are members of the...
So you're saying this based on what?
Strategic document of called Urban Perspective of 2001 of CPI Maoist, which was deliberated upon in the 9th Congress of their organization. This is on record. And it is from there you will find all these terms and strategy coming out. And some of these people are members of the Central Committee of that Maoist banned organization. Now come to your second question, that equality is not being done so far as some people involved in Bhima Koregaon and some people involved here. People who are involved here are...
No, but first, the 2001 document, you're saying based on that the police...
There's a complete literature,
and this...
complete literature. It's an intellectual document and how to go about it. It's there.
But we're talking about right now, these arrests
I'm taking you to the chain of events. Today, it's not just today, this has happened in isolation. There is a complete intellectual background to it and the physical activity on the ground, very violent activity on the ground, in which more than 4,500 policemen have been killed till now and 2,600 civilians have been killed till now, using mines also, if you recall, in Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand, where they blow up by mines.
But we're not debating about Maoists and their activities here. We're talking about these particular activists.
Yes, but they have the links. Work. The links go there. It is that links which are being investigated right now. Its matter is sub judice before court. Whether they are guilty or not will be decided by the court.
That's something that will be decided. But we've had the police come out in press conferences.
Now coming to the equality. Now let me come to the equality of it. That you say certain people, Bhide and others, have not been dealt with properly. Now, CPI Maoist is a banned organization.
I'm sorry, but CPI-ML is not banned, to the best
I'm
of
not
my
saying
knowledge.
ML, I'm saying Maoist.
CPI Maoist.
I'm only saying Maoist, not Leninist. Please remember. That's a banned organization.
So
and
Mao and Lenin
please
together
don't
are banned.
interfere. Please don't interfere. We are lawyers.
I will come
we know,
to you, yes.
We
Go
only
ahead.
talk on our terms. That is a banned organization. A banned organization involved in unlawful activities, you apply UAPA Act. On the other hand, Bidet's
Which means you don't have to present any evidence for many months, and we
no evidence has except that to file charge sheet you have 180 days instead of 90 days or 60 days that you have. That's the only ground, and you can't get till the charge sheet. Although it is discretionary on the court can give bail, but that's the on the other hand, Bidet's organization is not a banned organization, so UAPA has not been applied. We as
but
lawyers,
Bidet hasn't even been questioned. That's the issue. He's not
See,
even been questioned, even though his organization.
the matter is sub judice before the court. He's an accused before the court. The court is looking into.
But the police haven't even questioned him.
See,
So
if
it's obvious, obviously
no,
the Pune police are working very hard on this Maoist conspiracy angle, and not so hard on the
there are
other
two
other
aspects-
side.
there are
The
two
people
aspects
who
of it.
sparked the
There are-
violence, and it is said that they came under this gathering came under attack by the saffron groups. People carrying saffron flags attacked them, and that's what led to the clashes.
That's what
that
some
is
people
some
say.
accounts of it. Yes.
These are accusations. They will be tested in a court of law. Plain and simple. The way these people will be tested in a court of law, they will also be tested in a court of law. All evidences have to be put before the court. If they don't, then anybody can move an application. You know, the defense can also move an application, bring the facts on record. Even today, some people are celebrating that they have not been these 5 people have not been sent to the jail. They are celebrating. I would say it is more insulting to make your house, convert your house into a jail rather than being sent to a jail. So this is just a jail, whether you are there or you are in your house.
All right, so let's take it to
Sanjay.
Sanjay, what do you feel about the manner in which the Pune police have gone with such alacrity against the activists and this Maoist conspiracy, these letters being leaked to the media and talked about in great detail and not presented in court till now? And it's also now become a plan against the Prime Minister and to physically harm the Prime Minister. That's also one of the allegations now.
You know, when an octopus is attacked, the first thing that it does is to throw out a lot of black ink, muddy everything so that it escapes. Let's get the facts straight. Every 1st of January, the Dalits celebrate at Bhima Koregaon. They celebrate the victory of Dalits over Brahmins, over the Peshwa soldiers. This was a celebration which even Dr. Ambedkar used to attend. This was the 200th anniversary. This was disrupted. This was disrupted violently by Mr. Ekbote, by Mr. Bidet and the rest. The FIRs in relation to that are still being investigated. Who's investigating them? The Pune Police Rural. That is somewhere outside. There is in Maharashtra, the current chief minister is often called the new Peshwa, because after quite some time Maratha rule has been abolished, the Marathas are restive, the Dalits are restive. It is in these circumstances that the chief minister, who is also the home minister, obviously put pressure on the police, do something. What did the police do? They first arrested 5 people. 5 people, including Advocate Gadling. So,
well, actually, they also arrested hundreds of activists who were present at that gathering, and we don't even know what happened to them.
That is as far as Pune rural is concerned. That was as far as the incident is concerned. Now, you have to make this incident a huge conspiracy against the existing status quo order. So, you catch
about the meeting that took place the day before, the Algar Parishad. So that has become the focus of investigation.
There you have to make it out as if the Maoists infiltrated it, and it was not a caste thing. And it is not a caste thing, a consolidation of which will politically hurt you. So that is where this thing starts. You first catch 5 people, including Advocate Gadling. There aren't too many protests. A few months later, it's the same modus operandi. You catch 5 more. This time they caught Sudha Bhardwaj, they caught Gautam Naulaka, they caught, what shall I say, more celebrated people.
You think it's deliberate to create a noise?
No. not only to
Or an
create a noise,
outrage.
not only to create a noise, to scare everybody else. That is what is intended. The chilling effect of arrest. You arrest one activist, 10 other people will stop talking. 10 people stop talking, 100 people will stop thinking. That is how a democracy is subverted.
And they've taken this beyond it being a gathering of scheduled castes and the violence that took place to now this sinister
now
Maoist
the
hand.
theory is that the scheduled castes, etc., that was a small thing. It wouldn't have exploded but for the Maoists infiltrating. The same technique which was started off earlier in a mere college fight in JNU and which has blown up now to make JNU a poster case. Anybody who is against the current dispensation politically is anti-national.
All right, so you're saying that this narrative is being spread far and wide, and it's particular, and the way we're having these letters being released, the emails, I mean, that in itself, because these haven't been presented in the court, but they've been very, they've been released to media organizations, they've been talked about in press conferences.
Trial by media is a substitute for the hard work that you otherwise have to do in court.
So you're establishing the narrative in the media itself. They're doing your job for you.
They're trying that, and you must remember that there was a IG of UP called Gurdarshan Singh who went on the media in Arushi and said all those things. What got proved in court at the end of it? So it's the same thing. When a policeman is under pressure, when there is the media asking questions, when the politician in charge says that things are getting hot, then you have indiscriminate arrest.
All right, we'll also talk about the use of the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. Prashantanu, you were shaking your head. What is your response to what Sanjay was saying?
I think Mr. Sanjay is a lawyer and he's talking more like a politician. That was sounding funny to me. He's talking about these activists, so-called. So the 5 activists, so-called activists, which got arrested now and 5 earlier, and many before, like Sai Baba. Sai Baba also was an intellectual. He was a DU professor. He was already convicted by High Court of Maharashtra. See, same Maharashtra police become an angel
by the
Gadchiroli, yeah. But
in the High
Court.
He was
convicted. But he's convicted.
He's undergoing life sentence.
Yeah, he's undergoing life sentence.
So is Binayak Sen.
Yeah, so is Binayak
Congress Sen.
Yes. So that's why I'm saying. So as he's saying, it's only under current dispensation. So a lot of these people, the 5 people before and 5 people now, who are these people? 2005, 2007, 2008, 2010, 11, they were all arrested in different cases. So they are not some very innocent.
And let off as well.
No, one is on bail. Let me tell you who is on bail.
Matter is all sub judice still.
Arun Ferreira is on bail. Vernon Gonsalves already served his sentence for what? For having detonators, for having gelatin sticks.
17 of the cases that were against him were even dropped. There was no evidence, absolutely. But yes, at the same time, you managed to have the narrative.
One person is on bail, one person already served the sentence. And Mr. Gaurav Naklakha, which sounds like his friend, when he was stopped to go to Kashmir, because he was telling in very dear terms, that's why. When he was stopped,
this is how the narrative begins. This is how the narrative begins.
Don't speak over me, right?
No, standard
that wasn't necessary. Yes, go ahead,
you can expose me once your turns come. So Gautam Navlakha, when he was stopped to go to Kashmir, he wrote an article, and the heading of the article was Burhan Wani and his comrades. So this kind of people, they want to celebrate. So see, so I'm sure he's a lawyer and he knows there's a procedure to it. Police has presented the case to Supreme Court. Supreme Court has said, okay, you can arrest them, but only house arrest them. Now there is
we're waiting to see what happens when on the 6th, when
the Pune commissioner came and said we have clinching evidence, the same as we have in the Sai Baba's case. We have clinching evidence of procurement of weapons, of mass trainings, of having literature, of their link with Kashmiri separatists, CPM Maoists. So they have allowed them the time to come to the court.
But what do you think about the way the Pune police have behaved, coming to the press conferences? Why are we doing the media trial? What about the Pune police who have addressed the media and brought out all these emails?
When Romila Thapa, Ramchand Guha, Arundhati Rai, all can come in the press conference and also tell about police, that police is acting as if there is a death of democracy. Police also all the right to come up. Police also have all the right to come up and present their part. Because there's a public narrative created against the police. That's why they are also coming up in open and saying, okay, this is also our part.
But we have these emails, with a certain comrade, it goes beyond Indian boundaries.
Because
a meeting in Paris and arms coming from China and Russia.
We have a watertight case to arrest them and to interrogate them further.
But already today they were meant to present the charge sheet against the 5 activists who had been arrested in June. They've already asked for an extension. So I'm wondering about this evidence that we're talking about.
That's a normal process. That's a normal process.
Of course, it's a normal process.
Country, there is a slightest hint of assassination of a prime minister.
Since this involves
in any
a
other
case
country,
involving the prime
in any
minister,
other country, if there is a slightest hint of assassination of a prime minister, we will not be discussing this. We will allow police and courts to function.
Let me
come in.
Well, it's all
the
based
National
on these
Investigating Agency would have probably
emails.
come in. The FBI would have come in.
Exactly.
On odd days, investigating agencies, when they capture people from Sanatan Sanstha, linked to Sanatan Sanstha, they become angels. On an even days, when they capture their friends, they become devils.
Well, that is the ATS.
That's the problem.
It's the anti-terror squad.
But that does not.
If it involves the prime minister,
but that does
I would
not
imagine
prove their
innocence.
Mr. Vernon Gonzalez was arrested and he already served his sentence.
Most of the cases were dropped against him and there was no evidence in any of the cases.
10 seconds.
There was one case that was less.
Is it possible for others to speak as well, or only one side gets to speak?
Even carrying one gelatin stick is a case.
And I think in the court they also said it wasn't possible that he'd have as much ammunition as he was supposedly
not as much or one bomb versus 10 bombs.
We cannot discuss evidence here because it is not yet
no,
in
this
properly.
is the previous case we're discussing.
No,
so yes,
even otherwise, evidences will come only the stage of the charge sheet because investigation is done in secrecy. That's the first principle of investigation. The moment you disclose investigation, others involved will get very clever. They'll start destroying evidence.
I hope the Pune police listen to him.
And you know why? Let me answer. Let me answer Mr. Hegde here just for 10 seconds.
Is it possible for others to speak at all?
Just after 10 seconds.
I'd just like to go across to Sagar. We have Sagar Gonzalez with us now.
After 10 seconds. Pune police was attacked so much that you are not coming in public domain, you are not showing evidence in public domain. It is where when you attack police, the police was compelled to make a press conference, which I feel, which I believe, hold on, in your favor.
Let them go on record in a way that they are held accountable, which is a charge sheet according to the law of the land.
Let me tell you, I think Pune police has done something illegal by doing a press conference because they were attacked so much, they were forced to come out. It is not in law that they should have done press conference. They should present the entire evidence before the court.
All right, so that's your version. Let's just go across to Sagar now. Like, I would like to get Sagar's experience. You know, many of you perhaps don't know, but Sagar was there the day his father got the raid took place, and he sat through it all. Sagar, you wrote also about it in a Facebook post where you spoke about how, you know, being there those hours and what you felt and how helpless you felt. So for our viewers, if you could just share with us, you know, that day and how the entire the raid took place early in the morning. You had the police knocking at your door, and just share with us what you went through.
Yeah, so I was, as I wrote in the post, I was there at home when this raid took place, and the whole 7-hour long arduous process that the whole raids were, where they systematically took down our books, our CPU was taken away, my dad's laptop was taken away, our mobile phones, we weren't allowed to talk to anyone. And I spoke about how this is a repetition of what happened earlier on, where earlier also in 2007 my father was arrested close to the close to our house, and later the police proclaimed that he was arrested 30 kilometers away and with a gun in his pocket. Now they're talking about this conviction case and all, even that has been challenged, and the lawyer who's fighting that case is also in prison. So it is easy for the state to plant such sort of things and implicate people who write against them and who openly dissent against them. And it's really hurtful to see people talk like this and like just point a finger about people when, and I'm closely associated with this case and I know so much about it. And now to see it all being repeated again, it's really very.
Right, Sagar, I can imagine. But tell us about what the police did. You talked about how they took away many of your books. If you could, share that with us. And your mother made them tea, and it just went on for many hours. And then many of the books, anything with Maoist or Lenin or any sort of book was taken away.
Yeah. So like we have a lot of books in our house, and any book which had Mao or Marx in its name, I had certain childhood comic books which were about Che Guevara. Even those were examined whether to be taken away, and or even our personal laptop, our personal CPU, sorry, that was taken away. That has like my mother's case documents, that was taken away as evidence. Some old spare phones that were lying around, these phones which we would use perhaps on like when other days, those phones were taken away, phones which were just lying around, pen drives, like these sort of things have been taken as evidence during this raid, which is what really makes me question the kind of things that the police has been saying about the evidence that they've procured during these particular raids that happened on Tuesday. I was present, I was witness to the kind of material that was taken from my house. I was witness to that. So I know, I mean, it's a huge question mark on what they're saying about this. Like,
Alright, also, when you see these press conference the Pune police then hold, when they talk about this Maoist plot, how it goes beyond borders, meeting in Paris and arms being procured from Russia and China, and you know, the extent and width and how it's all described in these emails. What is your reaction to that?
It's really, it's bizarre and it's scary at the same time, because I've personally seen how it has happened and the kind of material that they've really taken from my house, and that just makes me imagine what they're really talking about when they're talking about this money trail or these links to, I don't know, Paris and Kashmir and all of that kind of stuff, and being so closely involved with one of the people who they're so openly talking about in the press, and they're claiming that they have all of this evidence. I mean, it's scary that they can so openly, blatantly say all of these things when you personally know what they have taken and what the person they're talking about, what they claim that person to be. You know what he does. Like my father, he writes, he's been editing and he translates books. That's all he's been doing.
All right,
and
well,
then to hear all of this.
All right, and this is the second time you've gone through something like this in 2007 as well. And I'd like to go across to Mohammed here and talk about the Congress's record. You know, now we're hearing Mr. Chidambaram, of all people, talking in outrage about these arrests. But in the past, Congress has been no great friend of the activists. In fact, you know, you've also spoken about how they're getting support from people and people in the cities. And right now, of course, this term has been called urban Naxal. But
of course,
that's basically what they meant in the past when Mr. Shinde, as Home Minister, also spoke about this.
Manmohan Singh as well.
Not urban.
Not urban. You spoke against Maoism and Naxal.
Urban Naxal and Maoism is one and the same thing.
I think we need some
yes,
order in this discussion.
That Maoism
this is there has to be some order. You just allow some people to talk all the time.
Just, Mohammed, yes, go ahead.
So, actually, this was a question that was lobbed at us a couple of times over the last 2 weeks. And we held a press conference yesterday. Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, one of our senior leaders, came out and clarified this position. And he's also the lawyer, incidentally, who's appearing for these people in the Supreme Court. We clarified that above all else, we stand with these people. Because right now, this is part of a larger pattern.
In opposition, now you stand with these
people. I'll just clarify. Shantanu, I didn't interrupt you. I'm sure you will extend me the same courtesy as you were demanding of others. Now, I want to say this. I think I want to paraphrase Mr. Arun Shourie. All of that to one side. Does it change the facts as they occur today? Does it change the nature of the case that they're bringing before the Supreme Court? Does it change why we are having this debate now? The reason why we are having this debate is because this government is one that confuses dissent with disloyalty. If you speak out against them, you know that for a fact. If a channel speaks out against them, it's blacked out. Its offices are raided. If a journalist speaks out against them, he's made to go on a sinecure. If you speak out against them, if any one of you speak out against them online, see the vicious hatred you would be subject to within 24 hours. They suppress voices counter to their own. And this is part of a larger trend. And this is why the Congress, starting with our president, stand together with these people today. Look, Gargi, you know for a fact that no party, more than the Congress, knows about the perils of Naxalism. We have lost leaders to the Naxal fight. We have lost people in Chhattisgarh. We've had our leaders, such as Mr. Jairam Ramesh, end up on Naxal hit lists because we have done the most amount of work in those regions. There is a way to combat that. And even within the Congress, you remember, there were two schools of thought because, of course, debate was encouraged in the Congress.
All right.
And we've agreed that, look, there's a development school of thought and there is one that advocates a more strict approach. With them, it's all a carpet bombing strategy. They're going after these people.
What do you,
not
when
just
you
because
hear
of this, but
Congress
because
now
these
saying
people
the
stand
things they're
against them.
saying at a time when
And
we're
Gargi,
seeing
today it's
activists
them,
being locked
tomorrow
up
it's going to be anybody else. This is just the beginning. They're
and
making
you know,
lists.
talk of how young minds are being influenced by these activists and how they were, you know, trying to find.
You know, I don't want to make this a Congress versus this.
No, not at all.
But I am terrified as a citizen. I am terrified as a citizen because I think all normal constitutional democratic processes are being eroded massively. And it can happen to any one of us. I am very critical of many government policies. I'm known to write against that. Tomorrow they can produce fabricated letters saying I've written to some comrade, somebody. Now, I know Sudha Bharadwaj very well. I'm proud to say she's a friend. I have known her since she was a child. Her mother, a very eminent professor of economics, was my teacher. She herself is a very fine mathematician from IIT who has devoted her life to educating and then to legally defending the most oppressed of the country. In any other society, such people would be valued, cherished, celebrated. Now, this person is being accused of being a Maoist. On what basis? On the basis of ridiculous letters that she could not have written. The first letter, which was produced on Republic TV, is a joke. In complete nonsensical
In fact, she
language.
filed a case against that.
That's right.
Over that
She
letter.
filed a case. It's complete fabrication. The new stuff that is being produced by Pune police, it's a complete joke. It's a travesty. She had nothing to do with Bhimya Koregaon. She wasn't even there. She had no relationship whatsoever with the entire process there and or the event in any form or shape. She, the kinds of things she's accused of doing, she was in a completely different city or town whenever she was accused of meeting somebody in some place or sending somebody an email. You know, you cannot produce strange Word documents that you have generated without signatures, without any kind of verification and say this is proof that somebody is a Maoist. Then you and I and all of us can be Maoists tomorrow. It really, that's what's terrifying. And then the process is the punishment. Look at what has happened to the 5 activists who were jailed 3 months ago. Another 3 months without a charge sheet. And I know from experience, my students in JNU were jailed. Finally, there will be no charge sheet because they do not have a case. The process is the punishment. And it's a terrible punishment. Now, you cannot do this in a democratic society.
Right,
the
I'd like to
purpose
go to
is
Mihir
to,
here.
if I may finish just
right,
another 10
yes,
seconds since
sure.
it would give lots of time to some others.
Yes.
If, you know, it's not just that the process is the punishment. This is also a distraction from the real culprits in Bhima Koregaon, from the fact that Sanatan Sanstha and other organizations are killing people. There's no kind of question of, you know, did it happen, didn't it happen? People are dead because of those activities. When people are being lynched on a daily basis, I mean, this is the India we're living in, where those who are accused of lynching are garlanded and celebrated by our leaders, and those who have spent their lives fighting for democratic processes and the poor are then attacked on completely scurrilous and false charges, which the police themselves know cannot stand in a court of law because they do not produce them in the court. The Marathi Panchnama that they brought did not mention any of these things. They're just general kind of statements, and I'm willing to bet that they will not produce any of these things in a charge sheet. They're willing to go and make press conferences about it because none of these are admissible.
Charge sheet, but yes, it hasn't been produced in
But
court.
you see, that's what I'm saying. The process is the punishment, and the purpose is both to distract the general population and terrify them that, oh, they're all out to kill the Prime Minister, which is ridiculous, and also to terrify any of us who dissent from the current government.
All right, this climate of fear Mihir, that Jayati is talking about, I know some journalists who are now leaving WhatsApp groups and are actually deleting emails that they may have got in the course of their research because, as Jayati says, we don't know. I mean, tomorrow they could point a finger at us, and the way the UAPA, the way the law is, it's very easy to throw someone in jail and not think about it for the next 6 months, and then, you know, it could take years.
If you have a law that doesn't clearly restrain what an agency like a police agency does, then at some point, some government, any government, will take advantage of that law. Unfortunately, the UAPA and its predecessors over time have gotten vaguer and vaguer about a lot of things. And when they become vaguer and vaguer, it means that the police have been given more power. Now, for example, one of the crucial parts about the UAPA is that it says that any member of a banned organization, such as a CPI Maoist, you know, can be sent, you know, throw him in jail, lock away the key, feed him the alligators, whatever, right? But the notion of what a member is not clearly defined. So what does the police, for example, come and say? They can walk into your house and say, oh, I see that you have a book on Mao, or that I see you have a history of Naxalbari, or I see you have this, that and the other. This means as a prima facie case that you are a member of this banned organization, which means that under the UAPA, we have the right to put you in jail without a charge sheet for 180 days. Now, once you create that power, somebody who is unscrupulous is going to come along and use it, all right? And on this occasion, what you've seen essentially is, yes, for whatever reason, and I think it has a lot to do with the local politics of Maharashtra at this point in time, you have a situation where an unscrupulous government is capable of using this to go after people, you know, acha, 5-10 log jo, you know, aise hain, usko andar kar lo, the heat gets taken off these Sanstha guys, all right? We've just been told that planning to blow up Sunburn in Pune. That will go off the headlines, inko andar kar do, theek ho gaya. You know, Arun Ferreira and Vernon Gonsalves, it's almost funny that they were arrested, because 1 month ago they are writing a series of articles on how problematic the UAPA is.
Yeah, as a reaction to the previous arrest.
And then in response to the previous, and so then inko andar kar do, kyun nahi? Aise hi hota hai yaar, you write bad laws, people will take advantage of them, and that's what's happened.
So this climate is fear.
Quick one line. The Supreme Court in Arup Bhuiya's case long ago clarified what membership meant.
And I'd like to get some audience also if anyone has any questions.
Just let me explain it. The Supreme Court has said that it's not enough to say that somebody is a member or a sympathizer of an organization. Mere passive membership is not enough to bring you within the law. You have to be an active member, incite violence, and only then does the law kick in. So I may have
speak about the law. We've had TADA, we had POTA, now we have UAPA. I mean, they've always been problematic, and they've always been yes, but UAPA has been changed to make it more stringent and more draconian.
Every government
it has stood the test of time. It has stood the test of time.
It hasn't. Every such law, the administration has had to take back because of abuse.
Absolutely. But at the same time, we do need to fight terrorism. We are a country that has many risks, and terrorism is a risk.
Terrorists.
I'm not saying these are. I'm saying we need to fight terrorism, but these are not.
That's so preposterous.
No, just 1 minute. May I complete? For the fear of terrorists, everybody else is at risk of being labelled a terrorist. That's what happens when you have these bad laws, catch-all laws. Then everybody gets caught in its swing.
Gargi, just 10 seconds.
Just
10 seconds.
Yes, go ahead.
All the arguments that I have heard are based on belief and faith that they have not done it.
Exactly.
They are my friends, therefore they have not done it. I know them personally, therefore they have not done it.
I'm sorry.
It does not work. Law does not work on emotions.
There is no
it works on hard evidence
I think
to be
we're talking about
produced in court.
Hard evidence has been produced.
It will come in there. It will come subsequently in court.
Under the UAPA.
It has to come. It has to come in a charge sheet. It has to come during the charge sheet that has to be filed.
I'm not invoking. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No. These are completely false.
What is the evidence? All right, I'd like to go back to the audience now.
I'm sorry, these are false letters.
All right, let's listen to this young man. Yes.
Anybody can say anything.
Let's get some more opinions in here of the audience who've been listening to all of us.
Yeah, this is Gulshan. I have a question regarding citizenship in participatory democracy. Since we choose the people and they are also like us, we make them leader. And at the same time, we don't want to give them that much power that those become God kind of figure. So we wanted to control them because we are the ultimate figure who can...
The people.
We the people.
Voters.
We the people are important.
For the people, of the people and by the people.
Yes, we the people are very important. But when someone come in the power in any government, they become master kind of figure and they just wanted to do whatever they wanted to.
Okay, so you mean like the UPA or the NDA?
Just one sentence. We know literature shows that how police has been controlled by the government at different time in different country. Then why not this time?
All right. Okay, getting one. Let's get a few more questions.
Hi, my name is Shubham. I wanted to ask you that on what I think the ma'am is right, because on what grounds can you arrest them? please explain that you're saying that she doesn't know that they are the culprits. How do you know that they are the culprits?
We also don't know.
Because
no one knows.
I'm
Police
sorry.
have a prima facie evidence so that they can be investigated.
I
Police
know.
ask for investigation. Court has said, okay, you cannot arrest them, just house arrest them and produce evidence and they will produce. That's a normal procedure.
And that will come at the stage of charge sheet.
Exactly.
Which is 180 days.
That's a normal procedure in any case.
That's what the law of the land is today.
as it goes.
That is what the law of the land is
पहले
today.
6 महीने जेल में डालो. आपके विरुद्ध में मैं I can also say about you.
All right,
You go
let's
to
get
jail
this
for
young
6
man.
months and then I'll
The
produce
court has
something.
discretion to give them bail even before the charge sheet.
Since you are saying that you have the evidence.
No, I am not saying
Nobody
so.
is saying there's the evidence.
I am not saying so.
has the
It is not in public domain and it should
But they're
not come in
saying
public
let
domain.
the courts decide and the police
The courts will
claim
decide.
to have the evidence.
So why the evidence has not been proved in front of the court? Why is it that for 90 days he is just
let me
under a
answer.
house arrest
Let
and
me
they are
answer
saying that for another 90 days he can be under an arrest?
Let me
so
answer
in that case the evidence must have been presented in front of the court.
Let me answer you.
Right.
Because
Well, the letters that were
we
shown
have
in
a
the press
process in
conference were
law.
not presented
We
before
have
the
a
court.
process. If you don't file charge sheet, you apply for extension. The police applies for extension. It is for the court to see whether the police is rightly asking or wrongly asking. It is where the theory of checks and balances comes into play. Police cannot run away just like that. They have to go before the court and it's the judiciary.
Mr. Nigam is saying?
Judiciary will apply its mind. If the police is taking you for granted, then the courts can say no.
So
they will be released on bail.
Deshratan sir, we actually raised this issue at yesterday's press conference. If these charges are indeed as heinous as you make them out to be, then
I am
my
not
God,
making charges.
well,
Charges have not yet been framed.
If they are indeed,
charges have not yet been framed.
But they've been spoken about in the press
conference. Only evidence and link is being investigated.
Prime Minister
so strong at this point, then
terrorism.
why not entrust it to the NIA or the CBI? Why have you entrusted it to the Pune police? Our Prime Minister's security should be of the utmost concern. But you have given it to the Pune police, which is holding pedestrian press conferences to put out the evidence that they supposedly have. If these letters are all they have, then it doesn't make your case or theirs.
And then we'll go across to Mr. Sanjeev Punalekar.
Does it prove that these people, just because NIA is not investigating,
sir,
does
the
it
burden is
prove
not
that
on
these
them. The
people
burden
are
is
not
on the
involved?
prosecuting authority to establish their case. These people
But
don't
sir,
have
here
to
we're
prove their
having a
innocence.
case where we've spoken about how the rural Pune police is investigating another case, and the urban Pune police is going in another direction.
They are different jurisdictions. One
Sure, of course they are. But if it's an overarching, but the Prime Minister's security is overarching.
Only rural investigate urban
urban naxals are
All right, let's get some more questions in. Another point. Let's hear his point of view.
These days, all of us, we are using Facebook, emails, WhatsApp. What is the government? Would the government guide the people of India what to write and what not to write?
No, there is no law. Nobody is guiding. And let me tell you, people
But do you
are
feel
comparing
that
this time to emergency.
are you more
We
careful
would
about
not
what
have
you
been
write
discussing
online
this
now?
If it had been emergency. We are discussing very frankly, we are abusing the government day by day. Even the Prime Minister, the most liberal society we have today, we are discussing it in such a manner that I am telling you. Yes, it's a fact.
Very good question.
You can abuse your Prime Minister and nothing will happen to you.
Do you feel worried about what you post online?
Nothing will happen to you.
I think you have the response.
No, response is all right.
And is it something you tell your family members, be careful about the articles you post, careful about what you say? You feel that?
Yeah, sure.
But Gargi, that's a
How many people here feel that these days? Are you more careful about what you say online or social media or criticism?
Look at that. Look at that.
All right.
We are digressing completely.
So we are digressing, but this is about the people, and I want to know what the people think about when we have activists and lawyers
if we believe the police commissioner of Pune
reputation
on the press
being thrown
conference
into
said
jail.
They have evidences of purchase of weapon, of mass training. It's on only having the literature.
All right, this will have to see in the court.
That's
I have to go across to
release.
Mr.
Now it will be presented. Now it will be presented in the court.
The Pune police have only produced letters saying that there will be
we have
a
Mr.
purchase.
Punalekar with us, and he's
Mr.
an advocate and member of the Sanatan Sansthan, sir. People have been saying from our, I don't know if you were there at that time, but some of our panelists have been saying that this arrest of activists is to divert from the Sanatan Sansthan, that case that is going on, which is being investigated by the ATS, in which there were terror plots and there were plans to bomb, and also it's been linked to the killings of intellectuals and reporters.
I will take only 2 minutes because some of the discussion I did not hear. What I am saying is this, as far as Sanatan is concerned, it is not a part of the Sangha Parivar and we are not concerned with the government. We are at loggerheads with the Maharashtra government. I will give a new viewpoint. As far as the Supreme Court is concerned, Supreme Court converting itself into a remand court is something which concerns me, because one rule which is applied to some of them is not applied to others. So the Supreme Court's action in a constitutional way, I criticize it because it is not correct to take the evidence in its hand and say I will convert myself into a magistrate court. Number two, as far as Sanatan Sanstha is concerned, forget about covering us up. I am putting one statement that Devendra Fadnavis is finding out new equations in Maharashtra state, that is Sharad Pawar. It is to placate with him. This Sanatan Sanstha has been targeted, and for that same reason, these so-called urban Nakshals are targeted. No doubt they have some role. But
so you're saying you and the urban Nakshals are both being targeted right now?
No, I am completing. No, as far as urban Nakshals are concerned, the concept, I don't believe in that. Basically, Varavarana, I know personally, he may not do such things. Even if I am from Sanatan Sanstha, I say this. But the question is this, I know him and I have stayed in Telangana, I know his activities, he cannot do that. But let me say that they may have some role in Bhima Koregaon provocation or speeches or email, but Maharashtra government under Fadnavis is avoiding to arrest the accomplices of Sharad Pawar because there is a political equation which is going to take place before the elections. So Sanatan Sanstha and the so-called urban Nakshal are the victims of the same. Today we are fighting, they are telling it is for you and they say you are terrorists. But let us understand the plan of the government, and the Parambir Singh who is doing it is the same person who tortured Sadhvi. We do not believe that Parambir Singh is a fair man. So I am not here to certify because I am Sanatan Sanstha. I will come and say that, oh my God, Parambir Singh, he is the same man who tortured Sadhvi Pragya Singh. He has given her electric shocks. He has beaten us with beds. There is an affidavit on Google. You may see that. So Parambir Singh, if Fadnavis is supporting, Sanatan Sanstha does not endorse that.
Alright, so you are saying that you are also being targeted. The ATS is targeting you the same way the Pune police is targeting these activists. Is that what you're claiming? And
yes, for the sake of Sharad Pawar, that is why Bhima Koregaon, Varavarala, what he will do from Telangana, the man Kolse Badal who did it there, Prakash Ambedkar, all those people Fadnavis is protecting, the people whose cases are booked, who has actually killed a Maratha youth called Rahul Fatangade, he is being protected by Devendra Fadnavis. Let me say it openly.
Alright, well, response to that, Sanjay?
No, this is new to me. But politics is always the art of the possible. There can always be strange bedfellows, strange combinations. But what Mr. Punelekar says is interesting, that there seems to be some kind of outreach to the Maratha community from the Brahmin chief minister, and therefore there is some protection to Mr. Bide, some protection to Mr. Ekbote, and action against those who don't fall in. Mr.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Punelekar. Go ahead.
No, this is precisely the reason when first day when Sanatan people, see whether they are guilty or not, court will decide. I will not divert the debate. But Fadnavis did not counter the statement that this was to scuttle Maratha agitation. He wanted to make Sanatan Sanstha a sacrificial goat. And you remember something in Dabholkar, who is very close to Pawar, when the ATS has booked terror case, ATS was too eager to hand over the accused person to Dabholkar murder case and postpone the investigation of the terror case. So this was the approach of Fadnavis. So as a lawyer and as a Sanatan Sanstha activist, I don't endorse such type of things.
Right, sir, but ATS has found evidence against members of your organization or people who are close to your organization, and these plans to bomb are being talked about. Yes, but again, you're right, they have to be proven in a court.
No,
but there's something else.
That evidence is different. That will fight in the court. But he was ready to hand over custody for Dabholkar murder case under pressure from Sharad Pawar. I am saying this.
Alright, so we're going deep into Maharashtra politics here.
Did you hear what he said about the Supreme Court acting as a court of trial?
I was going to come to that. Yes.
They didn't have an objection when the Justice Loya case was heard by the Supreme Court, almost as a court of trial. Now they have an objection when the Supreme Court intervenes for these activists.
But
that is a double standard. But I'm
sure
that the RSS will tell them what they're telling these activists. Have faith in the law. Boliye sir inse.
They have the faith in law.
So deep into Maharashtra politics, it seems, he's saying the Sanatan Sanstha too is being targeted, and these activists too are being targeted, and it's all to do with politics.
It sounds to me like we need a strong prime minister to come in and sort this out. I wish we had a strong prime minister who didn't let these chief ministers run wild, send one police force off to arrest someone from
we are in a federal structure. Prime minister
is very about Maharashtra politics clearly, and they're talking about we've heard through the accounts of Sharad Pawar, and people are being protected, and it's been talked about. I think these claims have been made before.
What Mr. Punelekar basically seems to be saying is the point that I began with, that the current government is often seen as a government headed by the Brahmin community, which normally is not the chief minister's community. Normally, chief ministers in Maharashtra tend to come from the Marathas. You add to that, you have the Maratha reservation problem. That also has come in. Add to that, now you had the Dalit problem in as much as the Dalits were getting restive. So, there seems to be what he is hinting at seems to be of a reworking of equations between the Brahmin chief minister and the Maratha chieftain. How much is true, how much is false, I do not know, but that is I am trying to decode Maratha politics and Maharashtra politics because of my old Bombay association.
Just 10 seconds. Mr. Punalekar said about Fadnavis and Sharad Pawar, which was interpreted very strangely as Brahmin versus Marathas.
Exactly.
Just look at it. They are making it divisive. This is the agenda. He did not
mention. Whose agenda? Sanjay's agenda.
Sanjay has converted the entire thing into
a
Brahmin versus non-Brahmin thing.
They converted a Dalit meeting into an anti-national meeting.
No,
yes. This is not divisive.
Politics, Dalit politics.
No, it's worse than anti-national. It
is this is not about caste. This is not about caste. This is purely about a plot which was uncovered.
Bhima Koregaon
and election, planning is all about caste.
Our constitution comes from that defiance which came out at Bhima Koregaon. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar's father was a soldier in the British East India Army thing. Recruitment of Mahar soldiers in the Indian Army was one of the causes that Dr. Ambedkar fought for in the round table conference. So, please do not tell me that all this is caste.
We need to forget
the final moments of the show.
Forget that history.
I want closing remarks from everybody.
History can be inconvenient and that's why.
All right, let's just get final comments now.
History has to be forgotten. Please, you are reviving that caste history.
They want to create the caste consciousness that suits them. They want to create the caste consciousness.
They've been celebrating it every year without any violence. This is the first year we saw violence this year. Yes, Jayati, go ahead. Final comments.
I want to bring the discussion back to all of us as citizens. And my concern
I think that's
as
what
a
it's
citizen.
about.
You know, I think what is really concerning is that the forces of law and order, the forces that are supposed to protect us, have become our oppressors, have become means of terrorizing ordinary citizens, especially those who are working for the poor, the underprivileged, the workers, and so the tribals and so on. In the case of many of these people, we heard about computers being taken. We heard about all of them. The computers have been taken. Their hard disks have been taken. The floppy drives. I mean, the books have been taken. The telephones have been taken. And we do not know because so far, if I may be allowed to speak,
it is scrutinized.
If I may be allowed to speak. They are not being given copies of what they had in those.
Clones
we do not know. No, I'm sorry, they have not been. And we do not know whether those themselves will be manipulated. And there is a genuine concern because so far the Pune police has not given any indication.
We do have Sagar with us, and I would like to.
Exactly. So there is a genuine concern that these can be distorted and manipulated.
And clones are made.
Well, no, they have not been made. I'm sorry, they were not given.
We have Sagar with us. He can answer about that.
Challenge it in court. Challenge it in court.
Of course,
Sagar, you shared with us, and we're coming to the last moments of this show, and I think everybody's made their points. And you spoke about how a lot of books and your computer was taken from home. Were you given any copies? Did you sign any lists of things that have been removed? Any clones made of what you had on your computers?
It will be given subsequently, not at that point of time.
After they have manipulated and distorted
clones are not made inside the home. They don't have the process available inside.
You're saying in the course of it.
Copy out everything like computer by hand.
See,
you can.
No, I mean
after you put stuff in that, they got any.
Why is the clone not given?
There is a process to it. There is a time.
There is no process.
There is a process.
Sagar, what have you been told by the police about all the evidences that they took from your house? Did you receive a copy of what has been taken? Have you got any assurances that you will be given the material that was on your computer?
So, as someone who's faced this before also, I can tell you very clearly that the last time around also our CPU was taken, books were taken, none of them have been returned as yet.
In 2007?
Secondly, we were, in 2007, whatever was taken from our house, our CPU was taken, they were taken away, they have not been returned. Secondly, all the evidence that has been spoken about was sealed in a separate room. My parents, me, and the witnesses, the police witnesses, all of us were sitting separately. So even though we have a copy of what all was taken, we really don't know what has been sealed exactly. And I mean, going from past experience, I really can't say whether we'll get this back. I really have no faith that we'll get any of this back, but I really want to stress on something that Jayati ma'am said, that the whole process becomes the punishment here. Where right now we have policemen standing outside our house, my father is not allowed to, no one can come home, and this whole process becomes the punishment.
Because you are under house arrest.
But the process is the punishment. Like you have no
evidence. You're waiting now for the 6th of September when the Supreme Court will take this case up again, and hopefully we will know more about the evidences that the police claim to have. And thank you all for joining us today, and I hope everybody here also, you've understood, how detailed and deep this whole issue is, and don't go by the urban Naxal tags and the various tags that you may see. Well, we're completely out of time. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Goodbye.